So welcome back. We are in one of the sessions here at Nafaa. We have the communication bus. We hope the network can permit us. Like we said, this section plays host to the policy, planning, investment, and also the communication arm. Here at Nafaa, we have the communication bus. Good morning and welcome to Voice of Liberia.
Well, thank you very much. It's great being here, and we welcome the visit of Voice of Liberia and impromptu to visit. We were not informed about the visit, but as a journalist, we waiting all time. We woke up 4 o'clock in the morning to start our duty as a journalist. So, see you guys. Well, I welcome you guys. I will not have to question why you here. You will tell me why you're here.
Okay, so this is a series conducted by Voice of Liberia, an independent radio station in Liberia. Normally, we move from government institutions to another to know when do government officials go to work. As you may be aware, they have been paid by taxpayer monies. So we decided to embark on this exercise where we know where we can actually ascertain when do government officials go to work. We have visited lots of ministries like the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the ministerial complex where you have education, agriculture, commerce, and the rest of the other government institutions, and also autonomous agencies as well. So we're here today. Like you said, yes, it is a surprise visit, but it's always good and healthy indeed to visit Nafaa. How is Nafaa?
Well, Nafaa is doing well. Nafaa is trying, and I hope that in the not too distant future we can positively impart the lives, the livelihood of fishermen, fishmongers, those who buy the fish from the canoe and process the fish to the market. We refer to them as fishmongers or fish sellers. So we hope our aim is to impact the sector, and that's the process we own already.
Okay, so since 2017 being created by an act by the National Legislature, I know you know the historicity of how the institution has been in terms of operation. Can you give an overview? There are people listening, there are people watching as well. They want to know just about Nafaa.
Well, Nafaa, you said it, is an autonomous government institution responsible to spearhead activities of the coastal line. We control fishing activities in Liberia. As a matter of fact, people pay to fish in our waters. We have industrial vessels, we have the canoes, semi-industrial, we have the artisanal fishermen and those smaller canoes, and they all pay different costs. And these monies collected from the bigger vessels, the smaller canoes, the big size canoe, we contribute to national budget, the national cake. We Nafaa remit some monies to the national budget for government operations. So since 2018, this Nafaa, this government is the first government that has kicked off the operation of the National Fisheries and Agriculture Authority. And so, under the watchful eyes of Madam Emma Metie Glasgow, Nafaa is gradually making a part significantly in the lives of the fishermen, the people who sell the fish, the fishmongers, and the entire coastal counties, and that of the counties that do not have the coast, the rivers, county with big rivers. We also have jurisdiction over them, all waters in Liberia. Once our fishing activities ongoing, we have jurisdiction over them.
It's always good to hear from the house's mouth, and controlling the communication sector here at Nafaa, it plays out well as it relates to your strategies, some of the things you do. But in terms of achievement so far, is you here, you occupying that position, there are people who want to know. Let's look at your achievements since 2018 up to present.
Well, since 2018 to present, no one can, even a blind man, will tell you that Nafaa has immensely imported the fisheries sector from 2018 to present. This government, the only government that has prioritized the coastal counties. We've done distribution of free engines, we've done distribution of nets, we have in-country life jackets for safety of the fishermen. We just got another batch recently to add up so that we can begin distribution very soon. We have additional batch of motorized engines that are coming country, and we anticipate additional batch of nets, thread nets. Because our aim is to take the rubber nets from the coastal counties, the coastal land. So fishermen, the rubber nets you see out there very destructive, and so we want to get the nets out of their hands, the fishermen's hands. But before we do that, I mean, this government is introducing the thread nets. We distributed the first batch, and we are anticipating another batch of thread nets to distribute free of charge. In the history of Liberia, no government has done that. To provide engines, and the engines came. Engines did not go in the hands of people who shouldn't have it. It went in the hands of the fishermen through their fishers cooperatives. Okay. We organized fisher cooperatives in the 9 coastal counties. The distribution was done. You can do fast check, go through all of the fishes and find out about the establishment of the fisher cooperatives. Many of them will tell you that these things took place in the close. So we come back with additional engines, we come back with nets, and we'll be coming back with life jackets. Okay. Yeah, and the life jackets were bought by President George Weah. Okay. The president is very much concerned about the safety of the fishermen. So because of that, he made it possible. We got the first batch and the second batch here. We always have additional coming in to ensure that our fishermen's safety is cared about.
You talk about the nets and the life jackets. How you go about doing the distributions, especially with all the coastal counties?
What we've done is we copied from the Ministry of Agriculture, as maybe the Agriculture Ministry is where we once had the Bureau of National Fisheries. Yeah, when we were just a bureau. It gave birth to Nafaa today. So in the agriculture sector, they have the cooperatives. Yeah, farmers group into cooperatives. So we took that with the assistance of the CDA that had the ideology of this formation of the cooperatives. We work with CDA, establish the cooperatives comprising the fishermen, the fishmongers who will sell the fish, the coastal communities, each other communities, the chairpersons and others, the chairmen. They are all part of the fisher cooperatives. Now we channel the distribution through those guys, through those organizations in the counties. Now it was those organizations that did the distribution, distribution of the engine and the nets. Each cooperative, some of them have approximately 10-15 persons in there. Okay. So we distributed the engines for some play areas. They got 5, depending on the size. Some got 4. They also give the nets. Okay. Now, what we anticipate that those cooperatives, comprising 50 or 60 persons, if they have 5 engines, they will have 5 bigger canoes that are beyond the water for that group to use. Fish, seal. From there, they manage the sale of the fish, and they turn the money to something else. Like you see, the Fanti fishermen put the monies into other businesses. They are into transportation business. They buy petroleum products. They take it from the water into the pot, and your family eat. You sit down. Okay. No, but it is a business. It is actually a lucrative business, like the gold mine. Yes. So the ocean you see there has a lot of species in it that the fishermen can catch, do the sale, and impact their lives. Build houses for their family, send their kids to school, improve their livelihood. But back then our fishermen did not see it like that. So now, through this government, we tell them that no. To get you started, we talk with partners. We got the engines from the Japanese government. We say thanks to the Japanese government for the engines they supplied. The nets came from a part of the 40 million that we received from the World Bank. Purchased the nets to impact the fishermen also. And now we have the life jackets at courtesy of the President of Liberia and other supply of engines coming in. Nets expected. So all of these things are geared toward improving the livelihood of our local fishermen. Years to come, we don't want them to be the way they were, but that you have a transformed life impacted by the government.
As part of your distribution exercises, you talked about hitting up with cooperatives where you
establish cooperatives.
Yeah, where you interact with them directly on the basis of distribution. Do you do follow up to know as to whether the people who are to benefit are benefiting from the materials you gave out?
That's why we have the policy planning and investment part of the National Fisheries and Agriculture Authority.
Okay.
They both departments are operating right here.
Mm-hmm.
Within that department, they have MAE.
Okay.
Yeah, so those guys go to counter check of what has been distributed, and the good news come from the field. Like I told you, you can go do counter checking. We also, apart from giving the people the engines, we brought in parts for the engines. We brought in the lubricants for the engines to inform them that, well, this is what you guys should use on the engine for for it to last longer.
Okay.
Now, we also train people through the Japanese government. We brought experts came down. They train the locals how to do repairs of the engines. So, in October, the government is saying to the fishermen that we want to get you prepared for your job. Provide the engines, provide spare parts, provide lubricants, then we train you to do repairs. It's getting someone to be independent, that they can earn the money from the ocean and do a lot of businesses from what they earn from the ocean.
There was this time that fishermen at a certain point in time were complaining as it relates to giving authority to the bigger vessel to operate, like you talk about the bigger canoes to operate, and at a certain point in time, whenever they go on the sea, they were not actually getting what they went there for. Maybe through their hustle, you have a vessel taking over their control point, and it was sending a feedback to Nafaa, or like say to their own institution, of delaying on what they get. Have you received such a complaint?
Well, in the fisheries sector, you see the ocean as big as it is. You have demarcations. The smaller crafts, the smaller canoes, they've been told how far to go.
Okay.
The bigger vessels too have limitations on the waters. We have the Fisheries Monitoring Center. That center has big screen television that does the monitoring of activities on the waters.
Okay.
So anything goes on there illegal, we are aware. We see what all go on the water. So in terms of the bigger vessels crossing the limitations, we capture it on the water. And there are penalties.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyone that violates the fisheries law, that person is penalized. So the bigger vessels do pay for crossing their backs.
Okay.
They pay for crossing their backs.
Have you received such a case where people who violate are being penalized, like you said?
We've always penalized vessels.
Are there instances?
We always penalize vessels that cross the mark, and that's where the national, one of the means by which the National Fisheries and Agriculture Authority raise revenue.
Okay. All right.
The penalties. Yeah. So the fishermen, the bigger vessels that come to fish in our waters, they are giving monitors.
Okay.
They install the monitors on the vessel. Apart from that, we have observer on all of the vessels.
Okay.
Yeah. So this guy, 2-3 persons assigned on the vessels, they monitor the activities. If the vessel is fishing for 2-3 months on our waters, those guys monitor the activities that goes on the water. So they report to Nafaa what take place on the vessel. Apart from them reporting, the monitor that is on the vessel enable us, before the guys can report, to see firsthand what's happening on the vessel.
How robust you are in maybe executing that task to those who are in violation can be penalized?
We always penalize violators. We always penalize violators. I'm sorry you did not go to the Mesorado Pier at the time we had those illegal vessels.
We have okay.
Impounded. We had a lot of them that impounded, some of them even sunk.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we want to do the dredging of the Mesorado Pier to kick off the construction of the industrial port at the Mesorado Pier. So there were a lot of vessels operated illegally. Through the help of the Coast Guard, we arrested the vessel, brought them at the pier. They were there. Some of them, the people abandoned them. Some of them, they paid the penalties, and they took their vessels. So we have always, even never came to birth. The Bureau of Fisheries arrested a lot of vessels with the intervention of the Coast Guard. And monies were kept in the account. When Nafaa came to birth, those were the monies that brought Nafaa. Nafaa started to use the monies before Nafaa as an authority started to effect arrests and raise a lot of money. So we got money through registration, we got money through the arrest of illegal vessels. We call that IUU fishing, people that fishing illegally. It's illegal, unreported, unregulated fishing. Throughout the world, vessels owners and their vessels are arrested for fishing illegally.
Okay. All right. So, but let's look at this aspect. You give fishing nets motorized the boat as well. What does Nafaa get in return after you should have done those donations and so?
Well, not Nafaa, specifically the government. Well, the government of Liberia through Nafaa distributed the engines, the nets, free of charge. The essence of those distribution and future ones is to empower our local people, to enhance their abilities, so that they can supply more fish to the market. And when the fish supply is high, the cost of the fish will reduce on the market. That's the essence of which this government, through President Weah, developed that strategy and implemented it. And as those fishermen start to use those vessels and those engines and the nets, plus the additional ones that will be distributed, that if a fisher cooperative were previously given 5 engines and the other suppliers come, they have to add 4 or 3 to 8, then you got 5 plus 3, that's 8. So meaning you have to have 8 canoes, 8 bigger canoes to attach that. And if a particular fishing community has 8 fishing vessels, imagine the supply.
Approximately, how many cooperatives do we have, and where are some of the cooperatives situated?
We have cooperatives here in Mesorado, Popo Beach. Excuse me. You have cooperatives established there. Bana Beach, EW Beach. You have the other beaches on the side. They are cooperatives already established there. We have Banjo Beach that we're referring to. Then you go to Bomi County. We have cooperatives there. Marshall, Magibi, we established cooperatives there. You can even go behind us to find out whether what I'm saying is real or it's just politics. But at Nafaa, we don't talk politics. We talk reality. And the fishermen can give you an account of what we tell you. Go to the other counties, Sino, all the way to Maryland. We established fishers cooperatives there. And the guys have in their possession the engines, they have the oil, they have all the things there. And aside from that, we have centers. We got one here in Mesorado. Yes, we have that will take care of Mesorado, Bomi, and Cape Mount to supply the oil, the lubricants to them. We have another one is in Grand Bassa County. responsible for Grand Bassa and Riverside and Margibi. Then we have another site that will be established in the southeast, Sino, and that's responsible for Sino, for Grand Crew, and that of Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah. In the near future, the Japanese government will bring a huge supply of lubricants, huge supply of spare parts at lower cost for our local fishermen. So whenever they have because if they start to change the oil, leave us, that's the oil they're using that was supplied by the manufacturer, and they start to use another oil, it will cause breakdown to the engine. So we saw that as a means of avoiding it. We talked with the company, the Yamaha company, and they supply all of the things. The first batch is free of charge.
Okay.
The next one, they will pay at a lower cost. So that's a goal. We want to keep them in the business.
How far are you now as it relates to this storage thing? People who are operating the storages around country, people like yeah. So how far we haven't heard a lot about that exercise. Where are we? Is it that you have? Are you a bit quiet on it?
We monitor our coast storages.
Okay.
We have people in the field daily. In fact, in the 9 coastal counties, we have fisheries officers and their subordinates working for Nafaa. They were recruited in the counties.
Okay.
We did not take them from Monrovia. When we had done that, they were flown back to Monrovia. So we did a recruitment in Bassa, in Marshall, in Bomi. We did a recruitment in Cape Mount, Sino, Riverside. Our guys are in all the counties. They give us feedback.
Okay.
They tell us about the coast storages. They tell us about fishermen activities. If there are illegal fishermen operating there, they alarm the central office. Central office contact the Coast Guard, and we have a team deployed in the specific county.
You have a strong policies on that.
We have all of those instruments that we apply.
What are the recessions so far in getting fishermen registered, like you talk about cooperatives and so forth? What do you get from those who are benefiting from that, or your gesture, your investment you do? What are the reception? What do you get from them? What are they saying? Not praises, but what are some of the difficulties so far, and you as an institution, you think you can handle or you're working on?
Well, when Nafaa came to being, we have a magnanimous Director General who was in the system before.
Okay.
So, and other members of the team that were here with the Bureau of National Fisheries. So they knew the challenges of the local fishermen. So when it came to the hem of authority, they decided to craft a strategy that will help minimize the challenges of the local fishermen. The local fishermen were being taken over by their counterpart, the foreign fishermen.
Okay.
Our local fishermen were only concerned about their peddling canoes. Go, 2 men go, 1 man go, and brings a 5-6 bundle head of fish. He sells to the bottom to the is for his wife or his wife's distributing a cook. He eats and he feels good. But when we came to power, we told them no. This fishing thing is down hand to mouth. But we start to empower you people. We want you to see the fishing as a business, not a one-man thing, but a business venture. That's why we brought most of them together. Some of them decided not to be part of the cooperative, which is not force.
So you don't force it on them.
No,
How do you regulate them?
We gave the idea about the cooperatives, and we had meetings, series of meetings, and awareness on the radio in the rural counties to sell the idea to them, and most of them bought it. Just a few of them decided that they want to remain on the one-man, one thing to do the sell, to do their fishing and sell the fish. So those who grab the idea, we put them into cooperatives. Now, the cooperatives is yielding results.
Okay.
We have the cooperatives have been monitored by the policy department, and things are coming on well, especially where in government they not only give you the machines, but give you parts, give you the lubricants to use, and inform you that this type of oil will keep the machine going far. Aside from that, you are trained. Whenever there is a problem in the machine, you can solve the problem.
So what more about people who did not buy the idea?
Well,
do you have any power over them, like monitoring power? Like whenever they violate you?
We do have control over all fishermen in the country.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we have period where we do the collection of the fishing license fees, and with the cooperation of the Coast Guard, the Liberia National Police, the immigration. We have a team. We have a team that goes from spread out to the 9 coastal county. We spread the team out, and we do the collection of the fees. We do patrols on the water with the Coast Guard to monitor the fishing activities of the fishermen. Not only the smaller craft, the smaller canoes, we also monitor the bigger vessels. So the routine patrol on the water with the Coast Guard, and all of those yield results. The last time we arrested more than 10 fishermen from across the Ivory Coast side. They were arrested in Ivory Coast. The other group were arrested in Grand Crew. We brought all their fishing implements, their nets, their engines. We brought it to Monrovia, including the personnel, and they had to pay fine before they got the things out of our storage.
Let's look at some institutional policies here at Nafaa from the executive director of Nafaa. Who are those who have in the building?
Yeah, you have the director general, who's the head. You have deputies. The deputy director for technical services is the number 2 person. Then you have the deputy director for administration. Is the 3rd. Then you have other lower directors. I'm one of them.
Okay.
You have the director for human resource. You have the director behind you there. You have the director for policy planning and investment. Mr. Dunbar, he's at the back there. You have the director for administration. You also have here the director for procurement. Then at the technical office, you have lots of technical directors there. Director for marine fisheries, director for the MCS director,
okay.
The monitoring, control and surveillance director, and among other directors, you have the technical office.
When normal working activities start here at
Normal
Nafaa?
working activities start 9 o'clock.
It's after 9, 10 minutes after 9.
Yes.
Are all of your bosses in office?
My bosses, most of them out of the country. The director general traveled with a lot of other lower directors. As you heard in the news, the last time our directors, we in Liberia entered MOU with Ivory Coast, and Correlation is in Ghana, and there should be going to Ghana, go to Senegal.
Yeah, but I want to believe now all of them traveled.
Not all of them traveled.
Who are those in country?
Others in country.
Who are they?
And on other assignments.
What type of assignment are they on?
Well, I will not tell you the assignment.
It's 11 minutes after 9. Those who are assigned here are supposed to be at work, Mr. Kolo.
The procurement director, who is the IT director now. Yes, he's the IT. He does a lot of things. He's taking a lot of instruction from the director general. Perhaps he's on an errand for the director general. Then you also have the director for administration. We're expecting an international visit very soon. So we're doing, if you go to the technical building now, you will see a lot of work going on there.
Normally, are these people seen in offices
Very much.
doing normal working hours?
If Nafaa was a laid-back entity, we wouldn't have been to where we are today.
Like you said,
Well,
one of the directors is taking instruction from the boss. Probably they might have operated through maybe WhatsApp like other institutions would do.
No, listen, the Director General left someone to be in charge. Watch your way, because our two deputies are also out of the country.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was taking on the lower directors to make them to act while she's away. And that person takes instruction from the Director General. Yeah, so I don't know the instruction that I was giving him. So I can't tell you his whereabouts. But Nafaa has an NGO style of work. That's the mentality that our Director General, Madam Emma Glasgow, has. That you have to be at work, you have to be doing your work, and you got to be there. So we have that style. So if we were not operating at that level, we would have been where we are today.
Is that policy being monitored?
Very much, very much, very much. In Nafaa, people have been penalized.
How do you go about doing that?
We have the HR.
Salary deduction or
HR,
suspension?
The HR has a records that he checks.
Okay.
And so if you are delinquent, HR reports it to the Deputy Director of Administration, who subsequently report that to the Director General, and action taken on employees.
Probably maybe before we go on, recent in the news, we also reported on that Liberia and the Africa Coast have went through a memorandum of understanding.
Yeah.
Can you tell a bit about that? What was the intent of that?
What the memorandum of understanding, fisheries memorandum of understanding that was entered into with Ivory Coast is intended. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. That's Director Francis, the MCS director I spoke about. Yeah, the technical building there. So the memorandum of understanding that we enter into is intended to ensure that the two countries work together in curtailing IUU fishing. What do I mean by IUU? That's illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing activities on our waters. You have people coming to steal fish in our water, so to speak. They're not licensed. People come from Ghana, Ivory Coast, other places, Sierra Leone, come on our water to steal. We have to enter this memorandum of understanding to ensure that if people come from Ivory Coast to steal fish in Liberian water, the Ivorian government will make sure that the people that came to steal the fish through the illegal fishing activity will pay for the act they carry out on Liberian waters. Likewise, if Liberians cross over to fish, any Liberian fishing company cross over to fish in Ivory Coast water and they are arrested, the Liberian government will inform the Liberian government through the fisheries authority, giving the names of those fishermen that came to do the illegal fishing. If they ran away over here, this government will be able to provide those guys. If there are any penalties, any fine giving them, those guys will pay, will make the fines available. That's why we enter into that memorandum of understanding.
What you have to say before we leave here, and to Liberians, those in found themselves in the fishing sector of our country, what you have to say to them in terms of complying with NAFA's policies?
Yes, what I want to say to the fishermen is that they should remain in compliance. The enforcement and compliance team will surely be out on the waters. They will be on the land. They will be in each of the fishing communities in the 9 coastal counties. So once again, enforce the collection of the fishing license fees. You have a little bit of a small number of fishermen who have not completed or who did not pay the 2022 fishing license fees, and we are nearing 2023. So that means they have 2 different fees to pay. So before the team can get over, we have our local officers in the counties. You can go to them and make your payment before the team arrives to avoid your fishing company and being told to stop fishing, your canoe seized, and all of your fishing implements seized, and you can't go on the water to fishing. So now is the time that you cooperate with our local team there. You know them in Riverside, you know Wilson Nimland. In Grand Bassa, you know Ben, and the rest of it, all the way to Maryland County. You know all of our men that work for Nafaa. So go to them, try to make your payment before the team arrives.
It's a special announcement. Mr. Kono, it was nice interacting with you. Can you permit us maybe talk with your policy planning director, the investment director?
No problem.
Okay, so we have Voice of Liberia 104.1. We are at Nafaa, the National Fishery and Aquaculture Authority. We have the policy planning and investment director. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Voice of Liberia.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm seeing you very energetic, and you're in office. When do normal work start here?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, 17 after 9.
Yeah, I was here at 7:30.
7:30. Why you come to work 7:30?
If you have a lot to do, you come early.
Okay.
At 9, 10, you have done something. And yeah.
You haven't it's on her a place. Not too many people will be who are given the opportunity to do so. So like you will come to work 7:30 to clear your desk and get prepared for the day's work.
Yeah, Nafaa is a very young institution. The fisheries sector is old.
Okay. Yeah.
The institution is young. So we put in all of our energies to make things happen. So that's why we come here very early and do our work. The news you hear, all the success stories and things like that, it's because of hard work. And time will come here, and we'll come here on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a policy planning and investment. What runs to mind? There are people listening, there are people watching who want to know this particular department at Nafaa.
So, Nafaa functions based on statutory mandate.
Okay.
To manage the sector sustainably. So we develop all of the policies that the institution use to function. So we have the administrative policies and the fisheries management policies. So you asked my colleague on the success of Nafaa over the past years and things like that. So when Nafaa came to being in 2018, what we did first was to establish different policies for fisheries management and for administration. So if you want to import or export, what policies that guide us on import and export? If you want to fishing license, you go to acquire fishing license, what policies that guide us on the license? So fleet management, our asset management, things like that. The different policies for asset management for each hour, for human resource management, things like that. So that's one of the first things we did.
Okay.
When we became an institution. So if you talk about success story, that was one of our best success stories, administrative. So those policies were being endorsed by the board, and now we monitor the implementation of those policies and things like that. So one of the things we did was we are online with all of our international obligations. So at the FAO, all of our obligations to FAO, to ICAT, they got something called the International Convention on the Conservation of manage the offshore fisheries and all the tuna resources and things like that. All of our international obligations. So we are on par with our international obligations and things like that, and we monitor the implementation of those things and things like that. So the different projects, talking about projects, so like the World Bank project, the Icelandic project, different bilateral agreements and things like that. So yeah, we are working all kind of
Okay. All right, so is that your name again?
I'm Alex Dunbar.
Thanks for talking with us. Okay, we got to go, so we're moving out now. So according to the communication director, most of the buses are now in office, so the buses are still empty. This is Good Morning Liberia from VOL 104.1 FM. We're here at Nafaa's office, and at Nafaa, the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, we have the Somebody. So yeah, controller or somebody, and I think the delegate, director general. The locks are all empty. So as you listen to him, most of the bosses are not in country. The director general is not in country. The deputy director. So there were people who were replaced or the acting. Since the director general is not in office, there are people who are acting. But any moment from now, we'll call it a day on this segment of Good Morning Liberia, where tomorrow again we'll come to you for another unknown destination. So it has been a wonderful time here at Nafaa. The communication director has been very cooperative with us. He permitted us to gain access to this facility, and then in an interview with us, he said a lot about some of the activities, some of the successes of Nafaa. So it's good to be around. Those of you just joined us, we'd like to say good morning and welcome. There is an exercise that we normally embark on to know when government officials go to work. So, and if you give us the opportunity or you permit us to enter your facility, we can have one-on-one interviews with people who are behind the institution as it relates to functioning the best way. So we stay here, we take a tour around, and we need your baby. We just want to go. Yeah. So we're still moving around. You see, government-owned vehicles are here. Yes, indeed. They are vehicles that belong to government. So we cannot tell you exactly. You see, I think we cannot pick up the last time I was here,
about reform. Yeah. So where we were, because we were the best, it really not do well like this, so we have to expand.
yeah, so the last time I was here, so it was not like the way it's
So a lot of changes have taken place in the compound. Previously, it was used by the Bureau of National Security for the BN. But here now, this is Nafaa. This is the headquarters of Nafaa. We form headquarters of Nafaa with all the training. We have the morning. Never had that here before. Never had that. So Glasgow is a reformer. And someone who wants to see that changes could take place where they need to take place.
Let's move around. The last time we visited this institution, I think we had a press conference, but that was in there. And as per the setup here, I think it is well unique, and that's what we're talking about. But this institution so far has been one of the best performing institutions on the Director General, Madam Glasgow, that we can say for free. And it is always healthy for those who are given the responsibility to bring changes whenever you ascend to a position. So sometimes you see people who are operating for like the ministers, sometimes you even go to them, they can even account of the type of job they do. So to even speaking of working the best interest of the citizens, it becomes a problem. So you see the conference room is a perfect setup here. As you can see, you can do the viewing yourself. It's a perfect setup. Any moment from now.
National programs to the monitor.
Okay.
We are on the internet.
Yeah, I'm seeing a camera posted there. The television. Okay. Okay. So is it that what basically this conference room is here for?
Well, the conference room hosts a lot of meetings. Okay. Hosts a lot of meetings, local, international meetings. We talk about our international partners via video through that monitor. Aside from here, we have another bigger conference room at the next one here. We want to do similar thing there too. So we work here, sometimes in India, work on our side.
So where do you have your departmental meetings? Do you also come in here?
We have departmental meetings here, we have general meetings here, we have senior
national staff meeting, general meeting here. Sometimes we go to the PA, we need a license.
Okay.
But we have a group of staff.
So we have another set of people from Nafaa operating.
Yeah, that's the technical office there.
Okay.
That's where the technicians are.
Okay.
Then we have the technical directors and all of their staff. They want to work.
Okay.
They work. You have people that are responsible for activities on the waters.
Okay.
They want to work. The building that's on the water, that's the technical building.
So they monitor the entire thing.
They do. We hope that we can make some arrangements.
Yeah, so you can
visit the technical building and see the actual workings of this entity.
Yeah, so we depend on you.
Most of our strength, you know, is financially generated to the technical building. Yes, technician. So monies we got, we put a lot of monies at the technical building. We have the monitors there. We have guys trained internationally. I mean, to ensure that we get all of what we're supposed to get from the waters. And that's why we put all of our attentions, all of our eggs at the technical building to ensure that those technicians do their best.
Okay. All right, so we can move on now. We will call it a day at 9:30 this morning where I was willing to take calls, but those of you just joining us, we are at Nafaa. And Nafaa been one of the clinical services from 1956 up to 2017 to create this institution being an autonomous agency. So we here, Director General, this place being controlled by Madam Emma Glasgow, but she is not in country, so we cannot report to you now, or we can simply tell you that she is not in office because she is on international duty. Those of you who follow the news, you know the type of contract this memorandum of understanding was signed between Liberia and the Ivory Coast. But we got to go, folks. I think we can move a bit. You can just figure out that, like he said, the communication director said, so many bosses are not in office. The assessment of the executive director was also the deputy director is not in office. So we have someone acting, but now the two deputies are not in office, but we cannot authenticate as a whether the person who is representing the executive director or is actually in office this morning. So we gotta go, we gotta call it a day on this segment of Good Morning Liberia. My name is Abor Parker. Guess we gotta go, we gotta wrap up. It has been a great time here at Nafaa, we gotta go.
Yeah, so thank you so much for those of you that listen to the radio on our online platform, www.voiceofliberia.com. So thank you. Join us tomorrow again as we come to a new destination to accepting when Liberia is government officials, especially those that are paid by taxpayer money. The person who trusted with power also appointed them when they come to them, when they go to them, and they executing their job as well should be doing by their term of reference. So thank you so much, my name is Gibson. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure for all of you that are watching. Abraham,
Okay, so thanks for joining us. Join us tomorrow. My name is Warren Parker. Thanks to Harris Billy for being there. Harris, you can take calls now. Thanks to the management team, also of Liberia. It is indeed a hectic exercise. It has been a great time here at Nafaa. So we'll join you another time.